Hi ladies, are you struggling to make nutrition for fat loss fit into your busy lifestyle? Today I'm going to give you 5 tips that I have to help you save time, save the stress, and save the energy that it takes to help you crush your goals in the midst of the chaos of life that it can bring. So let's hop right on into today's video. I'm Teresa, a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer, and I have found a passion to help women to fuel their bodies, to strength train, and really focus on nutrition to become your most strongest and nourished self. And I also have fallen in love with the process of what fat loss looks like, but not only just from an aesthetic thing. Like, that's not like the sole reason why, but when we focus on fat loss and muscle building, in that process, we are optimizing our metabolism, optimizing our bodies for that longevity factor that I think most of us are after for our health journey, and the reason why we eat, the reason why we exercise. We want to live long, healthy, strong lives. So let's dive into my 5 tips that I have for you to save the stress and really stick to these habits that will help you prioritize protein, balance your meals out a little bit better, and streamline your nutrition routine. Habit number 1, meal prepping made easy. Why does meal prep matter so much? It can save you time later in the week. It also ensures balanced meals, and it helps to avoid that decision fatigue that may come up when, life gets busy during the week. The first tip that I have for beginners would be to choose 1 to 2 main protein sources that you are going to batch prep for the week. And then I want you to choose a veggie source. So that could be one vegetable, or it could be like a mix, like a California blend, a stir fry blend of veggies that you can, again, batch prep. Those 2 things, the protein and the fiber and veggie source, are a lot harder for people to sit down, thaw it out, cook it, and get it on the plate. Carbs are a little bit easier, but if you do live a very busy lifestyle, it is nice to batch prep a carb source as well. Thinking you could do a batch of sweet potatoes or red potatoes, things like that as your carb for that meal. You could also batch prep basmati rice, quinoa, and having those things on hand as well. Not limited to these foods, but these are just ideas. So meal prepping is not that you have to get all the black plastic containers, make every meal. Just batch prep a bunch of chicken breasts, batch prep a bunch of veggies, and batch prep a bunch of sweet potatoes, and then have some avocados in the fridge and make a very simple meal based on your macronutrient needs and the distribution of that for your macros at that meal. So that's habit number 1. Habit number 2. It's so important to prioritize protein at each meal. I talk about protein a lot in my videos. Do I mean become like this protein buff where you think you have to eat protein all day long and that's it? No, other macronutrients matter. But why protein matters so much in a fat loss journey is because in fat loss, you are in a slight caloric deficit, and protein really helps with that satiety after meals and really helps preserve your muscle and optimizes that muscle potential in the long run. Protein aids in fat loss. Now, how to do this and prioritize protein at every meal, again, for starters, depends on where you're starting from. If you are only consuming 10 grams of protein at a meal, try to aim for that 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. And it also depends on how many grams of protein that you have during the day. So if you're a woman that needs 120 grams of protein spread out throughout the day, I would say take 120. If you know that you can get in 3 meals, 1 snack, just take 120 divided by 4, and then you would have 30 grams of protein at each meal and then at your snack. The other way to do it is if you want 3 main meals, so then you were thinking, okay, 120 grams divided by 3, you get 40 grams of protein per meal in those 3 meals throughout the day. Some quick options for proteins. I like to keep it very basic, very simple, and stick with those higher quality sources of protein. So your animal proteins. You can do a lean ground beef. You could do chicken breasts, chicken thighs, Greek yogurt, eggs, and steaks, and turkey. Keep the variety open. Don't think one food in itself is not going to be automatically detrimental to your health. So finding that balance of the proteins that you really like and enjoy and can be very easy and simple for you, that's where you go with habit number 2. All right, habit number 3, now building balanced plates. You've probably seen like the My Plate method out there on the internet, but I like to think about when you are on a fat loss journey, naturally, to help you stay in that calorie deficit, we want to increase fiber at our meal. How we do that is we're like, okay, now I want to say like about a 9-inch in diameter like plate. Now it's not like a big honking plate, but it's like an average size plate. And then you split that in half, and then you fill that up with non-starchy vegetables that have fiber. Those are like complex carbs in there as well, micronutrients. Those will help you keep you full. Fiber breaks down very slowly in our digestive system. So thinking about 1 to 2 cups or 1 to 2 fistfuls on your plate of those fibrous veggies, then a quarter of that plate dedicate to that protein. Anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces, depending on your protein goal, 4 to 6 ounces of cooked protein. And then in that last quarter, think about prioritize complex carbohydrates. So complex carbs means carbs with like more fiber in them. And that could be like apples, berries, kiwi, you could do quinoa, beans. Those are like complex carbs. Now, if you want to do more of a starchy carb, potato, corn, rice, those can go in there too. You're just not volumizing your plate with those like carbs. It's just kind of minimizing the portion. Keep it very basic, very simple in the beginning when you're learning this, and it will help you beyond measure. And for the fat source, so on my plate visual that I've created myself, I have fats kind of like in the middle just to separate them. Now you're gonna get some fats from some of the proteins you eat. If you eat chicken thighs, a fattier beef, a fattier turkey, you're gonna get some fat from that. But in general, think about fats like your oils, butters, and like avocado, nuts and seeds. Those are the types of things that you would add to a meal for added fats. Cheese is another one, full fat cheese, full fat dairy, that will have fat in it. So overall, what a plate could look like is that you do, let's say 4 ounces of chicken breast, and then you have half that plate filled with some zucchini, carrots, like broccoli blend if you have that. And then that quarter of the plate is like half cup of cooked rice. The carb and protein ratios may vary for depending on how active you are and the like what your carb and fat tolerance is and protein tolerance for those meals. And that's why getting individualized help with this is very, very important, because what I share here is in broad terms and it's not meant for everyone. So just take that into account as I talk about this. Habit number 4 is plan ahead. And I'm sure everybody knows this, that planning ahead is detrimental for success. A lot of people are saying, I'm so tired. I just am already so tired. How can I plan ahead? If the goal is important to you, if your longevity, your why power is strong enough, you are going to make time to plan ahead. You can do a grocery pickup these days. You can take time to just sit down 15 minutes. What are the meals for the week? Or what can I have on hand that will make it easier when I'm running around with the kids at lunchtime and I can throw something together really quick because I batch prepped in the beginning of the week. So you get to decide how much time you have for yourself, and we all have the same 24 hours. It's just how you utilize them. So get it done. Nothing changes if nothing changes in this aspect. So planning ahead for success, if you know you are going to be out and about all day on a Saturday, you better be packing some snacks with you. And using my weekly planner for meals and snacks that I have in the description below can be a helpful starter guide. It is very basic, it's nothing elaborate, but it kind of gives you an idea of how do I do this? Like, how do I batch prep? And I don't even know what you're talking about. So use that as your guide, download it, it's free. Take what you need, leave what you don't in that meal planner for fat loss. So moving into habit number 5. This is probably like one of the most important things, is to rely on consistency and not perfection. In a macro journey, in a fat loss journey, this is a longer term approach. It's not a get ripped quick fix kind of method. It's not this dramatic results in a couple of weeks method. This is for the long game. And fat loss comes down to a science. And it's not about the short-term perfection that we do. It's about the consistency over an expanded period of time. Anywhere from 3, 4, 6 months of a fat loss journey. Now, how you do this and stay on that consistent journey is your daily actions matter. And just because you had one day that you did it all great, the next day might throw some curveballs at you. But what are your non-negotiables? Usually I tell my clients, pick 3 non-negotiables that you can have in your fat loss journey or whatever journey you're on to keep you grounded. And if you get those 3 things done, then that you're building on that throughout the week. We cannot rely on motivation alone in a fat loss journey, because there's gonna be days you don't wanna work out. There's gonna be days that you don't wanna prep things. There's gonna be days that you don't want to not choose the easy option of stopping through the drive-thru instead of getting home and heating up the food that you already have at home. It just all depends, always comes back on your why, always comes back on what you truly want and what do you want for your health. Second thing here with the consistency and perfection, I want you to let go of the guilt that comes with slip-ups. And I don't want to say that you fall off the wagon. It's never that. Like, you didn't fall off in the wagon completely derailed. Like, you did not do that. If you were doing really well with your macros all week and then all of a sudden, you know, a day comes and you're like, oh gosh, like this threw me in for a loop. You just learn from it and you move on. You prepare better next time. You go back to habit number 4 and you prepared better next time. Having that adaptable, action-taking mindset and focusing on consistency in a fat loss journey is gonna get you so much farther than focusing on perfection and why can't you do this, why can't you do that. So for a recap of these 5 habits, by meal prepping, prioritizing protein, building balanced meals, planning ahead, and staying consistent, you'll simplify fat loss nutrition like that. You will simplify it. And while keeping up with your busy lifestyle, with the lack of time and things like that, a little bonus tip too. If you think you don't have time for this, I want you to take a look at your screen time on social media, or how long you take scrolling through Facebook or watching your favorite Netflix show. You got time to put some effort into yourself. You do, I know you do, and I know you know it. A lot of times we just choose the easier route. I don't wanna, track my macros, take the 10 extra minutes to see, oh, how did I nourish my body today? Is it aligned with my goals? Or like, it's easier to sit and scroll. It just is. I do it, I've done it, I'm guilty of it, but we're all human here. But you have to take the action, and you have to understand we all have the same 24 hours. You just need to get to work. Just get to work. I hope you found these tips very helpful for you. Take what you need, leave what you don't in this video. I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button for more content like this. It's really fun to teach women how to nourish your bodies. What fuel are you actually giving your bodies, and just trying to be in your positive corner for your health and fitness journey. But yeah, go ahead, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay nourished.